Hey there, Tad Argrave from Marketing for Hippies here in London. So I just had a conversation with a client that I thought may be relevant to quite a lot of you. She's realizing that the work that she wants to do professionally is very connected to a lot of her own personal issues. This notion that our deepest niche is often, or our truest niche is often the result of our deepest wounds. So this work that we're called to do in the world is often very connected to the places we've struggled the most. But of course, if there are places we've struggled the most, there's usually some kind of shame attached to it. You know, there's some sort of well, you wouldn't want everyone to know about it. And maybe it's shame, or maybe it's you just don't want to tell that story over and over again, or maybe it's fear of what would happen if people knew. You're not so much ashamed, but anyway, you get the idea. Sometimes you don't want to hang out your dirty laundry or put out all the skeletons in your closet, and so what do you do about it? And so what I said to her is what I'll say to all of you. You can be, first of all, implicit, not explicit. You can imply some of the things you've gone through without being explicit about them, and sometimes that's even more powerful. Second one is you can speak from your experiences without without speaking about them. You don't always have to. Sometimes that's even more powerful. You can, so let's say, for example, you were abused as a child. Well, you can talk about people being hurt. You could talk about power dynamics, people being taken advantage of. You could talk about predation as themes in your work. Never mention the fact that you experienced it directly, personally in that way. And yet people may feel it, they may get the sense. And people who've been through that experience, let's say of child abuse, on the receiving end of it, when they read it, would feel something in you, a kind of kinship, a trust. And so you don't have to put it out. Sometimes I think maybe people feel pressure, like, well, if I don't put it out, then I won't have any credibility, and it's just not true. It's really not true. You don't have to. Sometimes it can be very powerful. Brené Brown, of course, talks a lot about vulnerability and owning your own story. But I've been genuinely vulnerable, I think, twice in my life on Facebook, and I have regretted it both times. Most responses were great, but it only takes a few toxic, bullying, dismissive, new age, bypassing kind of responses to make you regret the whole endeavor. And so I don't tend to share. So I get it. If you have these things, you don't want to share them. I feel you. I'm with you, and it's good not to be naive about it. Not to imagine that there won't be consequences for sharing, because sometimes there will be. So, anyways, those are some thoughts. You can speak from it, not necessarily about it, and you can be implicit, not explicit. So hopefully that's helpful. Take care, everyone.